Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching. This is my second video, video 2 in my series. I am renaming my video series and here are my two different names, new names for it. So my first new name for it is Why Young Living is So Worth It, and my second name for it is Why I Choose to Use Only Young Living Essential Oils. So guys, if you haven't seen my first video, please go ahead and watch it. And now without further ado, I'm going to start with my information for this video. Okay, this is going to be about our second point, 2 out of 6, and this point is about the testing and standards. Young Living does a total of 21 different tests in triplicate twice in the process, and they have a third-party testing as well. And I want to highlight 2 of these tests, just 2 of them, because they are so important and unique, I think. Okay, so the first test I want to talk to you about is, it's called GCMS. It stands for Gas Chromatography Mass Spectrometry. So a GCMS machine is able to identify naturally occurring components in essential oils. For example, limonene in citrus oils, or menthol in peppermint oils. Those are just 2 examples of some of the components of essential oils. Now, there might be a couple of other essential oil companies that have a GCMS machine, but even if they do have a GCMS machine to identify some of the components of the oil, to identify the essential oil as, say, lavender, they're not distilling for more intensive therapeutic wellness supporting properties. We know that essential oils can have hundreds upon hundreds of constituents. But when Gary made his lab, so Gary Young, the founder of Young Living, when he made his lab, he contacted the maker of the GCMS machine and he said, I need to see all of the properties in the essential oil, not just a few dozen. The maker of the GCMS said, you know, no one's ever asked us, no one's ever cared to see all of the properties. And then the GCMS maker and Gary collaborated to produce our unique GCMS machine. Our constituent library is by far the biggest constituent library in the world. Remember, and now I'm going to tell you about IRMS. Remember I said I wanted to tell you about just two of those 21 tests that Young Living does. Okay, IRMS stands for Isotope Ratio Mass Spectrometry. All right, so let me find my place again. Here it is. IRMS is needed because sometimes people can get really clever and adulterate oils where we can't determine naturalness by just a GCMS machine alone or just chirality alone. So this is where the IRMS machine comes in. The IRMS measures the isotopic ratios of the individual atoms in an oil. By comparing these ratios to both a natural standard and a synthetic one, we can determine adulteration at the atomic level. So I think it's super impressive what Young Living does and what their tests do. And now let me talk about why we should stay away from adulterated and synthetic oils. So in order to tell you about that, I am going to be reading a tiny bit from my essential oils desk reference. This is going to be found on page 25 of it. Okay, here I go. So this is one example of adulterated oils and their dangers. Today, much of the lavender oil sold in America is a hybrid called lavandin, grown and distilled throughout the world. Lavandin is often heated to evaporate the camphor, mixed with that camphor is one of those constituents, and it's found in lavandin. So lavandin is often heated to evaporate the camphor, mixed with synthetic linalool linolyl acetate to improve the fragrance, and then sold as lavender oil. Most consumers don't know the difference and are happy to buy it for $7 to $10 per half ounce in various stores and on the internet. This is one of the reasons why it is important to know about the integrity of the essential oil company or vendor. Adulterated and mislabeled essential oils may present dangers for consumers. One woman who had heard of the ability of lavender oil, that it's good for the skin, she wanted to use it after she had a burn on her skin. So she purchased, lavender oil in quotes from a local health food store after she spilled boiling water on her arm. But then when she used that quote lavender oil from that store, she started feeling that her pain intensified and the burn worsened. So then she complained that lavender oil was worthless for skin conditions. When her, quote, lavender essential oil was analyzed, it was found to be lavandin, a hybrid of lavender that is biologically different from pure Lavandula angustifolia. Lavandin contains higher levels of camphor, which may burn the skin. In contrast, true lavender contains almost no camphor and has properties that are good for the skin that are not found in lavandin. So I use our Young Living essential oil on my skin. If my skin is itchy, I use lavender and it helps. Also frankincense. And as well, if I have like a cut, I love to use lavender and also frankincense, and it helps it to heal faster for me, and it helps it to feel so much better. All right, and again, I only use Young Living essential oils because I trust them and their testing and standards and all of these 6 points. Okay, let me see if I want to read any more to you. Because I don't want to sit here and like waste your time. I just want to provide information that is important and relevant. Okay, here's another thing. Adulterated oils that are mixed with synthetic extenders can be very detrimental, causing rashes, burns, and skin irritations. Common additives such as propylene glycol, DEP, or DOP, which are solvents that have no smell and increase the volume, can cause allergic reactions besides being devoid of any therapeutic properties. All right, guys, that is all I'm going to read to you of that. Okay, one more. At the bottom of the page, this last tiny paragraph, some researchers feel that because of their complexity, essential oils do not disturb the body's natural balance or homeostasis. If one constituent exerts too strong an effect, another constituent may block it or counteract it. However, synthetic chemicals like pharmaceuticals usually have only one action and may disrupt the body's homeostasis and cause various adverse side effects. So those are my reasons for why I stay away from synthetic oils and oils that are probably adulterated and mixed with synthetic components. Okay, I have just a tiny bit more from my notes here on my computer. Okay. So I've told you about, the testing and about why we only use pure oils. So what happens after we go through the testing, and what if a crop fails to meet our standards? Let me give you an example. So I'm going to tell you about 1 year with this Melissa oil crop. As I mentioned in the first video, Melissa is a plant. It makes a quite expensive essential oil. It's about $165 for a 5 milliliter bottle. There was a year when the Melissa crop didn't match Young Living standards. Gary, the founder, he actually poured that oil out on the floor rather than sell it to members, because